Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, first ever Eastwick Boxing UK live show. My sole guest this evening, who I owe a lot of thanks to, actually, and without him, I wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't have the platform to be doing this and talking to you all right now. Here we go. So we've got one of the founders of Three Kings Boxing, Willie the Kid. How are you, man?
I'm all right, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm not too well. I don't know. A little bit nervous, but a little bit nervous, you know. First show. There we go. So Eastwick Boxing UK is an association with Three Kings Boxing, and that's sponsored by the movement. As I say, Willie the Kid is one of the co-founders of Three Kings Boxing. He's also the creator of Eastwick Boxing. And for myself, I'm also part of Eastwick Boxing. I also write for Three Kings. So, topic of this evening. So, you've all seen announced this morning on Three Kings Boxing that after what feels like a fucking eternity, we finally got confirmation that the Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker unification fight is going to happen on the 31st of March in the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. So, Wilson, first off, you know this. All things aside, you know, the unification against two undefeated fighters. Mm-hmm. What do you actually think about the fight itself?
Well, I consider Parker to be the weaker of the three champions, even with Wilder's deficiencies, and that's putting it mildly. But I like it. It's a unification fight. It's going to be his second unification fight in 21 fights. So, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. And now, if he goes ahead and beats Parker, which I believe he will, then this sets him up for an even bigger fight between him and Wilder, because they'll be for undisputed.
Do you consider? I like. Coming from the UK, and obviously, we do have a tendency, let's be honest, to have a tendency to blindly follow our fighters. And, I'm guilty of that at times too. But I've got to be honest with you. I think that Joseph Parker is lucky to be calling himself the WBO champion.
He got lucky against Fury, and to escape out of there with that belt. And then Ruiz gave him hell. So, yeah.
Well, you see, I'm focusing on the first fight. That first fight with Andy Ruiz Jr. Because to me, got a gift decision, big time. Guy got a gift decision. I think that it doesn't matter what would happen in subsequent fights, but Andy Ruiz Jr. should have been the WBO heavyweight champion. It's interesting, actually. I'm going to focus on something that you've just said there about the Hughie Fury fight. So you think that he got lucky to walk away that decision? Do you think that Hughie Fury won?
No, I thought Parker won, but a lot of people did think that Fury won, and I could see why. I just feel like if Fury would have been a little bit more active, he would have had a clear-cut victory.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. I think the first sort of 6 or 7 rounds were certainly going his way. If you want the definition of running, by the way, that's what we did in the last fight. Don't give me no Floyd Mayweather run shit. You want to know what a runner is? Look at that Hughie Fury fight, because he was on his bike for 5 rounds.
Yeah, you're not going to win, especially a lot of those first 6, 7, 8, 7 rounds that you talked about were close rounds, and swing rounds, as we know, could go either way.
No, absolutely. But coming back to a point with the AJ Parker fight. So, in terms of the fight itself, would you say that it is definitely a fight that Anthony Joshua is expected to win?
Yeah, he should be. I mean, you never want to take an opponent lightly. Parker doesn't have a lot of good things, but his movement is really good. AJ's robotic, and that's probably more because of the weight that he puts on. and all those muscles. But but I wholeheartedly feel like AJ is the better fighter. Um, it should be a good 6-7 rounds, and that's about it.
Do you think that because I mean this that we've say what you will about Anthony Joshua, you know, is we've all talked, and you and I have talked about the fact that we probably think that he got the belt too early in his career, and that learning on the job as a professional boxer is one thing, but learning on the job as a professional, as a world heavyweight champion is something else. I mean, we've seen obviously, you know, the Klitschko fight last year. Okay, right. In my personal opinion, that was the best Vladimir Klitschko I've seen in about 6 or 7 years. I know that people make a lot about the way that Tyson Fury made Klitschko, but
I honestly believe Tyson Fury fought the better Klitschko.
You really? Why do you say that?
It's simple. You're 41 years old. You're coming off a long layoff, and you clearly couldn't pull the trigger. In that fight, when he knocked down Joshua was out on his feet. Another fighter that could finish off his opponent would have done it right there and then. He couldn't put him away.
No, I agree with you. I read an article for Three Kings Boxing.
Now, do you say he got the better game, Klitschko? Probably the more motivated Klitschko? Yeah.
So you think that Joshua got the more motivated Klitschko?
Yeah, I think the old man wanted something. He had something to prove, and he actually proved it.
Well, no, he did.
So I think the old man felt like, okay, I'm gonna show them that I could still turn back the clock. Now he couldn't pull the trigger there, and I believe it was the 5th round when he had Joshua in trouble.
The 6th round.
5th or 6th, one of those two, yeah. So he couldn't pull the trigger. If he would have been able to pull the trigger, like younger Klitschko, gets him out of there.
Well, no, I think that any I don't want to put an exact number on it, but I think that you're absolutely right. A younger gamer fighter, whether it was someone like Ortiz or Wilder or even guys like Dylan White or Povetkin, a younger fighter, if they'd have had Joshua in that much trouble,
yeah,
he wouldn't be world champion no more. There's no two which ways about it.
Well, yeah, but you still got to tip your hat because he weathered the storm. He got up from the mat, so he got hit with a tremendous shot. I mean, he might have been out on his feet, but he still made it up.
Now I'm gonna come back to the point that you've just made in a second, because there's a lot of talk in online groups and forums and even the media that I see an awful lot, which kind of half bothers me. But you're absolutely right in the sense that Anthony Joshua, we found out a lot about him. I mean, it's another point I'm going to come on to. It's worrying how quickly he runs out of steam. It really is. But
that's probably.
We learned that he can bite down on his gumshoe and he can go and he can fight back.
Yes.
These are questions that Anthony Joshua. Frankly, I don't give a flying fuck how old Klitschko was. It's still Vladimir Klitschko, right? The guy is still a very skilled. You know, he will go down easily as potentially one of the top 20 best heavyweights on currently that ever lived. There's no two which ways about that. And obviously he's come back, and then let's talk about the Carlos Takam fight, because this is a common opponent between Parker and Joshua, and again, it almost seems, and I'm going to come back to the point. There is this perception out there that Anthony Joshua is chinny because he got wobbled by White. He did get wobbled by Dillian White. He got dropped by Klitschko, and all of a sudden there is all of this talk that Anthony Joshua is chinny. He's got a glass jaw. He's got a glass jaw, guys. Glass jaw means he gets knocked the fuck out, right? That hasn't happened. Okay, he took a really heavy KO or heavy knockdown to Klitschko, but he got back up. And let's not forget, right, this is fucking heavyweight boxing. I don't care who you are. If you've got a 240, 250-pound man laying clean on your chin, and you go down, that doesn't necessarily make you chinny. But Wilson, what's your take on that?
Well, you mean cheat like what? Like he's on something or something like that? Like
chinny. So basically,
with his chin.
yeah.
I mean, shit. I always thought, to be honest with you, I don't think high of today's heavyweights, but I mean he could pretty well be chinny, but he still made it up to his feet, and he still was able to get his opponent out of there at the end of the fight. So I mean, can he be there to get knocked the fuck out? Probably, yeah. But that I could probably say that about all of them.
You could easily say that about all of them.
So it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to speculate whether he has a chin or not. Can he take a punch? He got caught flat on the chin, man, and he still beat the count.
Yeah, he did.
So you got to like look at that and say, you know what? He might be a little chinny, but you still got to give him credit, whether you want to or not. Like the guy did his thing. He went in there. He performed. It was an exciting fight. I never thought I could say that about a Klitschko fight.
Yeah, I've got you live on tape too. You're live to the whole world telling me that shit.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say that about a Klitschko fight, but it was an exciting fight to watch. In a big time atmosphere. So
these are all things that play to Anthony Joshua's advantage, right? Because Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the crowd could will you. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I don't know if you remember the Spence Brook fight.
Yep, painful for me, but yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, in the 10th round, I believe it was. That's the round right before he went down and took a knee. But in the 10th round, that round, Brook was in a lot of trouble. And he probably knew that he was in a lot of trouble. And with the crowd went wild cheering him on. And what that did was he literally said to himself, you know what, I gotta let everything go here because this is all I got. And it was pretty much like a last stand. And I believe the crowd willed him to that. So you gotta the atmosphere definitely plays into a fighter's advantage. It also plays into AJ's advantage because a lot of these guys that he's gonna face, not Klitschko, but Parker, maybe even Wilder, they never been in a stadium with 90,000, 80,000, 60,000 people. So
that just goes about for pretty much how many professional boxers in the world today. Can you tell me that a box in front of a crowd bigger than say 50,000? I mean, Canelo, okay? They're done. Carl Froch, he likes to remind us constantly. George Groves has done it, but there ain't too many guys that can say that they've fought in that kind
of. If Floyd Mayweather wanted to, he could have probably done it. Easily, but ain't too many guys out there that could do whatever it is. I normally don't get caught up into the financials of anything. So, but from a crowd standpoint, he's the draw. So guys are going over there, until he's not the man anymore. So let's say Parker wins and shocks the world and takes the win, then you'll probably have to see Anthony Joshua going to New Zealand for a rematch, wouldn't you?
Well, that'd be the take. Before we get on to that, so you'd say that, looking at it from what we've just said.
Yeah, he's the A side.
AJ has we know that, but the AJ has a lot more of the boxes ticked than from a fan perspective than Joseph Parker does. AJ's done it in front of better opposition. He's done it in a bigger spectacle. He's been chin checked. He's got dropped. He's come back. He's fought back. He's won. Right. Joseph Parker, we can't say any of that. Ruiz Jr. caught him quite a few because a lot's being made about Parker's chin. A lot's being made about the fact that he could possibly be the more durable. If I'm looking at the two guys' attributes, I would say that Parker's longevity is probably better. AJ does have a really bad tendency to gas. We all know it. We've all seen it several times. We saw it at the end of the Takam fight. We saw it in the Klitschko fight. We even saw it in the Dillian White fight. We've not seen Parker do it. Parker's fights tend to be at a plod, right? Ruiz Jr. is the only real guy that's actually asked any legitimate questions out of it.
Yeah, but see, like somebody asked me, what will Parker have to do to get the win? And I was like, I don't think he will, but I guess if I have to choose, I would say he would have to use his movement and then go for it later on in the fight. In other words, try to take it into the deep later rounds and then take the risk. But I just don't see that.
That's common practice from what we've seen with subsequent defenses from Joshua. I mean, look at Carlos Takam. I mean, the guy's got a hell of a chin, really. But okay, the fight got stopped in the 10th, so call it premature or whatever. But it was clear that Joshua. It was clear that Joshua was fading. We all saw that he was fading. So I think that that is going to be, for as long as Anthony Joshua is as big as he is, that is going to be everybody. I mean, with the exception of Wilder, because Wilder's power is great equalizer. That would be anybody's game plan, because Anthony Joshua can hit you hard and he can hurt you early. We all know that. But anything after sort of the 6th or 7th round, because Parker is quick. He's not the biggest punching heavyweight out there, but he is quick. Yeah, like you said, he has got a lot of movement.
That's the thing, though. Does he have the pop to keep Joshua off of him? I don't think he does. Now, I think he could use his movement, and I think you will see him use his movement more. But if he goes into the later rounds and you've been knocked down 3 or 4 times, like where are you? How far can you go from there?
Well, no, you're absolutely right. This is the thing, though. I don't think Parker is the biggest of punchers. I mean, it's he managed to keep guys like Takam off of him. He couldn't really keep Ruiz Jr. off of him. Right. Can he do it with AJ? I mean, AJ took some pretty meaty shots off of Klitschko. We saw him take some pretty meaty shots off of Takam too. So, has Parker got the ability to stop AJ from coming forwards? If he hasn't, he's in trouble.
Yeah, and I don't think he does.
No, I don't. So I think it's a pretty clear and unanimous. We think that Joshua's going to win this fight. How quickly do you think he does it?
I'll give him about 6, 7 rounds.
Right, okay. So a lot's being made about AJ's way. We've seen in the UK press this week that Parker is looking at coming in a stone lighter than he was for his Fury fight, which is fine. They're probably going for maneuverability and longevity over that, but he's likely to sacrifice some pop. Do you think
he's going to come in lighter so he can move better?
Yeah. Do you think that AJ really gives a shit about his weight? So what do you think his mentality is with this?
I think he should. What was his last time? 254, right?
Yeah. So in British terms,
I think you want to come in like, I guess 240.
Crying out for quite some time to sit there and say that he probably needs to drop at least a stone.
So he should really try to do that. If he doesn't do it in this fight, he should try to do it for the next one. But for the Wilder fight, I got a feeling that he will come in a little on the 250 side to probably he'll feel like the weight will probably help him take the punch better.
Well, one thing a lot of people are considering is in the last fight, because it was slated that Anthony Joshua was going to come in about the stone lighter than he was previously. And this was when he was supposed to be fighting Kubrat Pulev. Pulev, who is a pure boxer, guy can move. So at that point in time, AJ was taking the weight off to deal with those kind of problems. Now Pulev pulls out, Takam steps in. Takam was a completely different kind of animal. So my theory and my perspective on this, and I've seen a couple of people have shared my thoughts and they agree, is that because of the change of opponent, because we all know what Takam's chin was like, because he's already, he was a durable guy. He'd never been stopped previously in his losses. That he was stacking on the weight to go for a bit more power. That's my thought process on it. I'm not sure how much you agree on that. I'm quite keen to get your thoughts because it was widely said that AJ was going to come in light, and then boom, he's a career heavy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think in this fight he will probably drop a little bit more weight because he's gonna be the bigger guy. So in this fight he'll probably go down to like about 240 for the Takam fight. I think your theory is right on point, 100% correct. It was a completely different opponent, but in this fight he should be around 240 ish and stuff like that. That will probably help him move a little better, or at least keep up with Parker's movement. So I believe Parker's going to move a lot, man, in that ring.
You'd want him to try and for AJ to try and to come onto him a little bit, get him chasing, get him working. I mean, AJ's come out today publicly and said that he respects, Parker's chin and his durability, and it's already, sort of coming into play that he's going to potentially go to the body a bit more rather than trying to headhunt and try and slow him down. That's what I believe that Joshua needs to do, because AJ's not actually that great at cutting off the ring. Given how big he is, he's not that great at it. I mean, It was fun. As evidence, you look at the Dillian White fight, he was chasing White around a lot. You look at the Takam fight, he was chasing Takam around a lot. His ability to cut off the ring isn't great.
Nah, I mean, so AJ's gonna have to hopefully not chase him, but catch him coming in, and use his jab. I mean, if he could just use his jab, he's got a beautiful uppercut that he's developing. And maybe catch him with that upper when he lunges in, because at one point or another Parker's gonna lunge in.
Parker's biggest flaw, in my opinion, is
when he does that, he's wide open.
He does. Whenever he goes to drop to the body through a body shot, whenever he goes to load up one of those big hooks, his guard hand comes right down, and you're absolutely right, straight down the pipe, and he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
I'm looking forward to this, man. I mean, in the sense that, AJ is probably the biggest sports personality that the UK has. There's always a lot of buzz that's generated from this fight. Parker's going to do very well. Even with the split he took, Parker's going to do very, very well out of it financially. AJ comes out always publicly and says that, I want to fight the best and this is what it's about. And the heavyweight division isn't exactly filled with names like maybe some of the other weights are, or filled with talent like some of the other weights are. But, within the month of March, we are going to have a clearer picture. Because obviously, 4 weeks before that fight's due to take place, Wilder Ortiz. So, you know what?
It's going to be a good month for the heavyweights, man.
It is going to be a good month for the heavyweights. So let's talk about that Wilder Ortiz fight a little bit, because again, just before I jumped onto this, I was quick looking at the boxing groups and at the boxing posts at what people are saying about, because AJ Joshua seems like it's a foregone conclusion, right? Unless you're from New Zealand, nobody's giving Parker a dog's chance in hell of winning. But the Wilder Ortiz fight is generating a bit of a difference of opinion. There are a lot of people, that are sleeping on Luis Ortiz. I think that's a dumbest fucking thing for anybody to do. Because they're judging Luis Ortiz on his last few fights. You look at Malik Scott, where he was just running around everywhere. Dave Allen, he's really slow, he's plodding, and everything else. But my counter to that argument is that how the hell, if you're Luis Ortiz, how do you get yourself up for those what are effectively fights against much lesser talented guys? It must be very hard for him to do. So he's not really gotten out of first gear for me. And because people, they think what they see and they're judging you on what you see. There's a lot of people that are sitting there saying that this is a foregone conclusion for Deontay Wilder, whereas the more purists of boxing fans are saying, look, if you sleep on this guy, you're nuts.
Yeah, But it could also be a case of the same thing with Klitschko versus Joshua, where where Joshua caught the old man at the right time. I mean, Wilder could be catching Ortiz at the right time. So, but I wouldn't be shocked if Ortiz beats Wilder in that fight. So that shit wouldn't shock me one bit, man. Do I honestly think he could do it? I don't know if the old man still has it in him though. So, but that's an interesting fight. Like people, like you said, they're having it like a foregone conclusion that Wilder's going to win that fight, and I'm like, yeah, I better not look past this guy because he could ruin a lot of plans.
You know, you and I were on. You or I were on another panel not so long ago, and you know, people talking about Tyson Fury's return and this, that, and everything else. But you asked me, Luis Ortiz holds the cards, right? Because Luis Ortiz can rail a lot of fucking plans right now. I mean, in all honesty, I think my personal opinion is that if Luis Ortiz beats Deontay Wilder on March 3rd, then I doubt that we will see here a match for the undisputed title anytime soon.
What that guarantees you is that you're going to get to Fury AJ faster than you expected.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely, and that's what I feel as well. I think that
that's what that would do.
Yeah, you know? It's a bit for Joshua. It is. Well, I say high risk, low reward. He would become the undisputed champion of the fucking world. But
if he could beat him,
well, I can honestly see Eddie Hearn steering Anthony Joshua away from that particular fight and getting him down the Tyson Fury train.
As you guys would say, what are you doing, mate? No, not that guy.
No. We want the fat guy over there. No, not him. Him. Yeah.
And then in shape, Fury with maybe a tune-up fight in him. It's no slouch either if he's in shape.
No. Who do you expect? What kind of caliber of fighter do you expect to see Tyson Fury come back against? Because there's been a few names mentioned.
I don't know. If we got like a A fighter, a B fighter, and a C fighter, they should put him in there with a Class E fighter.
It's just shaking that stuff, right?
The guy hasn't fought in so long, man. You just want to see what he has, man, and let it go from there.
This is it. If you and me are hypothetically mapping out the heavyweight division for 2018, right? Let's say Wilder gets past Ortiz and Joshua beats Parker. It entirely depends for me on how. Say if AJ comes in and completely ruins Parker, I can't see Parker's team chasing a rematch. If that's the case, then I mean he's came out publicly and said that the next fight, providing it all goes his way, is Wilder AJ in Vegas. I mean, how likely do you think that is? Because we've then got to start considering mandatories and all of this kind of stuff. What do you think?
Okay, ask me that again.
Well, realistically, if Wilder gets past...
I'm thinking this, yeah, go ahead.
So if Wilder gets past Ortiz, Joshua gets past Parker, but Joshua beats Parker to the point that Parker doesn't want a rematch, are we going to get a fight for the undisputed title in the summer?
No. You're probably either going to get a Fury fight or a Povetkin fight.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking as well. That's where I think that
I think they're going to let this one marinate.
But it's marinated for so long,
Yeah, but I guess and Eddie's whole thing is he's making money regardless, so why rush?
Well, there is, I suppose there is that point, but I don't know, coming from a boxing fan's perspective, that's not the kind of shit that we really want to see.
It's not the kind of shit I really want to tell you. But I gotta be fucking honest, so it's bullshit, but it is what it is. That's probably I totally expect that fight in 2019 more than 2018. If I get it in 18, that will put, as we say here in the other side of the pond, the gravy on top. I just don't see it though.
Well, I suppose that from a fighting perspective and a timing perspective, I mean we've talked about it before. This fight, the Wilder agents, would be probably a bigger spectacle in the UK. I mean, what's US perception, right? And because obviously AJ perception is he's the biggest fucking thing since sliced bread over here. But
yeah, over here. Did you see the clip where Eddie Hearn was going around New York asking people? He asked like 2 or 3 people if they knew who Deontay Wilder was.
No, I didn't see that.
Right. He asked, and they obviously didn't know because he was clearly asking. And I don't know what part of New York he was at, but weren't too many people walking around there. But anyway, they clearly didn't know, and it got fairly good amount of play on social media. And I'm laughing because I'm like, well, if you ask them who Anthony Joshua is, they probably don't know that either. So I mean, the boxing purists, we know him. Some of the casuals might know him, but he's basically not known over here too. So
the fight's definitely going to be bigger if it's done.
It's that fight has to happen over there. If Deontay Wilder fights Joshua, is going to have to fight that fight in the UK. That's where it makes the most money. If he's going to go after whoever,
you're going to get your ass on a plane and come over if that fight gets made. Then
more than likely. If that fight is going to happen there, it's to make the most money, like I said already, but just the popularity of the heavyweights out here is not as big as it is, as it usually is. So it's kind of like a weird dynamic. You got this guy that knocks people's head off, but can't seem to get that steam from the fan standpoint. He's picking it up, son. I mean, he does get good, decent numbers. Like he'll get like 1 million people watching on a Saturday night, which is pretty good for a summer night. Like in New York, I got a million things I could do on a Saturday night. Let's sit home.
Who cares? Who cares?
Dude,
who cares?
Oh, it looks like right. Here we go. So we got an old ass Cuban that's managed to work his way through, climbed on a boat.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
I'm the only one that's allowed to call him that.
Yeah, right. Only an ugly ass Puerto Rican can call me old ass Cuban. You, my friend, have to refer to me as the Cuban master that's on the phone to talk to UK boxing with my friends.
Oh, whoa. What the fuck was that kind of accent? That shit sounded more French than fucking British, man.
Manus
right,
maketh
man. So all of you
watch that movie.
You sound like fucking Pepe Le Pew, man.
all of your British privileges have been revoked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Bo Bland from Truth and Facts About Boxing, also working with us at Three Kings. So, Bo, we've just been talking about what the state is in the division. We've been talking about, how we expect the AJ to fight. Let's get your views on this.
I was just telling them how both guys are like not really popular over on this side of the world. I mean, probably Wilder's a little more popular, obviously, because he's from here. But like a regular folk down the street probably won't know either one.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. Wilder is from and even as far as popularity, I was from Louisiana. So even his popularity.
Alabama.
I'm sorry, Alabama. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alabama. So even his popularity with him being from Alabama, you can actually question that to a certain degree as far as how many people might know who he is.
In Alabama,
Anthony
they
Joshua.
know.
That's the thing about the U.S. That's why when people when he was walking down the street in New York asking people if they knew
Yeah,
who Wilder
that's what
is.
I was telling Aaron that if he did that and then turned around and asked the same person, do you know who Anthony Joshua is? They would have had the same answer.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua or even Daniel Jacobs. See, the thing about the U.S. is,
I don't know.
You
about
might
that.
know the guy.
He's in New York.
Well,
Daniel
some people in New York.
But I told you Daniel Jacobs is on buses in New York. People know.
Yeah,
him.
but there are some people who probably wouldn't know, or the answer would have been, oh yeah, the guy that be on the buses or the billboards. Yeah, I've seen him before.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that would have been exactly
that's
the answer. That would have exactly been the answer.
Yeah. The funny things about the U.S. is, outside of our state, because you got to realize, man, one of our states is like almost half the size of the UK, and some states might even be almost close to the size of the UK.
Well, Texas is about 3 times bigger than the UK.
Okay, see, and that's my point. So a lot of people don't know what's going on outside of their state. I'll be honest with you. I live in the Midwest. I couldn't tell you what's going on in Ohio, and that's right next door. Hell, Indiana, and that's Indiana. I can tell you what's going on over in Indiana, and that's kind of how it is in the U.S. A lot of people don't know what's going on outside of their state. So
for him to be shit to do, man.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying. But for him to be in New York, asking people about Wilder, that's
who's from the South.
Yeah, who's from the South at that, So, but I think Wilder's popularity is where. See, the thing about the popularity thing is people know, and they know it because social media, you're able to reach a lot of people. Now, Anthony Joshua's popularity, people might know who he is, but as far as him being popular, that's I guess it depends on who you talk to. Because I'll be honest with you, most people might know who Anthony Joshua is because they don't like Deontay Wilder and want to see him whoop his ass. I know a lot of people that didn't know who Povetkin was, but they heard people trolling Wilder about fight this guy, and all that type of stuff. So, sometimes, man, I'll be honest with you, man, sometimes popularity can be overrated because Floyd Mayweather is not a very popular fighter, and hundreds of people know who he is and will go watch his fights. Yeah, guys like
they don't like him, but they'll pay a ticket to watch him.
Right, and then you got guys like Manny Pacquiao, who is highly popular, but as of late, he hasn't been able to still continue to keep up a buzz like Floyd.
Right, you don't get the pay-per-view buys like Floyd.
Yeah. Right,
which leads you to fight on ESPN for free.
As a matter of fact, we saw that happen with Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin was hugely popular.
You honestly think that, right, Golovkin is popular, and he did what, like 150Ks in 2 pay-per-views?
I was just going to say, Golovkin, he was hugely popular. He only did 120 buys in a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say sometimes with that popularity, popularity sometimes can be overrated. Now, from a UK standpoint, popularity can turn into so many different other things.
It's everything, really, because they'll go and support their guy.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, guys like Tony Bellew, who wouldn't get a second look in the US for anything. No. He's basically the US equivalent of Jarrell Miller. But here, he can sell 30,000 tickets.
Yeah, see, the thing is with us, like, there's 30,000 things to do.
Yeah.
There's more than that. There's more than
we go beyond boxing. We got basketball. We got football. For example,
that's a very good point too. When you put that perspective,
yeah, we got basketball.
Boxing is like
baseball.
Yeah, boxing is like the 11th most popular sport here in the U.S. 11.
Yeah, we got hockey. We got other sports that you don't even see on TV that people follow. Mm-hmm. And where Wilder's from, for example, Alabama, that's fucking college football country. So all they care about is college football. Anything else, maybe Kentucky basketball, and that's another college team. Anything else past that is like for example, let's say they Alabama plays tonight, and they put on a Wilder fight after that. I guarantee you'll have like 2 million views.
Oh, that's happened. PBC used to have a hard time when they would have some of their cards on at the same time a college football game was on.
Yeah,
and they
so
would
they
get,
what
they
they
would
did
get
was
killed
they
in the
moved into
ratings
after the
too.
game.
Well, the
Right, exactly.
big difference, guys, between from what I can tell and from what I'm listening to you guys say.
Not only that, man, I got like a million TV shows that I could watch at any given moment.
No, so the big difference is that for us, I mean, yes, we are a country that is a sixth in the size of population, and next to boxing, actually boxing probably. I mean, obviously, you know, football for us is or soccer for you guys is the number one sport. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, you know, what's number two? And it is actually, in terms of viewership and everything else, it is probably boxing. But what happens here is, I mean, we typically, and I've said this to you guys both before, is that you take any Olympics, right? So, you know, even going back from fucking 2000, you know, 2000 when Audley Harrelson was there, 2004 with Amir Khan, 2008 with James DeGale, 2012 with guys like Luke Campbell and Anthony Joshua, and then 2016 guys like Lawrence Okoli and Joshua Boasi and guys like that. The media, the British media, tends to piggyback off of these things, and that way, fighters get hyped up real fucking quick.
Well,
if they've been along that trail, so they become household names very, very quickly.
Yeah, you guys get caught up in that, and I kind of noticed that, being that I run a boxing group on Facebook, and during the Summer Olympics, the last one we had, I actually had to do like give them a post with the medal count, and most of the guys that actually participated in that post were British. So you guys seem to get caught up a little more in that. With us, it's more of a local thing. Like if you're from Chicago, I'm from Chicago, I'm gonna follow you. If you're from New York and I'm from New York, I'm gonna follow you. If you're from Los Angeles, you know, and you're Mexican, the Mexican Americans are gonna follow you. So it's more of a local, regional thing with certain people. Even with sports or so, you know, you're not gonna see too many. If you go, for example, put it to you in terms like this: if you watch NFL football and you like the Philadelphia Eagles, you're gonna get a lot of cats from South Jersey, which is right outside Philly, that like the Eagles, you know, because it's in their region, in their area. So more people are stuck on their region than suppose nationwide. You know, do we watch the Olympics? Of course we do. A lot. It gets high ratings all the time. But I
take on board what you're saying, but is there anything, if that's the case, because from Wilder's perspective, so from Wilder's management's perspective, they have the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Now you go back, you go back through the 90s, you got guys like fucking Mike Tyson, you had guys like Real Deal, Evander Holyfield, Rick Bowe. Those guys were household names.
I'll tell you why though. Those guys had a better team.
Not just that, they also had that. See, again,
they had a better team,
but they had a better team, and their rival team had a better team. See, the thing that you guys get to enjoy over in the UK is level of competition when it comes to a promoter with Eddie Hearns. Over here in the US, we have several promoters that are jockeying for a spot. You guys got Eddie Hearns, so Eddie Hearns is free to reign and do certain things any way that he chooses, because besides him, you got Frank Warren.
Like a lot of your cards here will be a dud, completely dud. Like the arena will be empty because what I noticed, I watch a lot of UK fights.
Yeah, he doesn't do his main events is fine, but the undercards is what's not the
undercards are always.
Well, as I've said to you guys before, I was at AJ Klitschko last year. And I'm quite a big follower of Katie Taylor. So Katie Taylor was second off. But that arena was hard, you know, it gradually started getting full, but the undercard everyone was in the fucking bar. There was nobody about. And then all of a sudden, 10 minutes before AJ is due to come out, the arena fills up. That's generally the way that things are done here.
Right. We're not going to pay for one fight, though.
That's right. And then you know what, too? You guys also...
unless it's Floyd Mayweather. Like that guy, I don't know, man.
See, you guys' fights are like an event too, man. You got here when we go to a fight, like you said, we got to fight. You guys' fights are like an event. You guys go and it's like a social thing for you guys. You know, like you said, you guys walk right from the pub straight to the fight. You know what I'm saying? That here we're either in there to watch the fight or we're outside waiting for the fight to start. So it's just a different atmosphere altogether, man.
Well, no, and I think this is interesting for you know, for the
It's a
listeners.
different show.
For the listeners who are out there, because I think that people are ignorant to the way that other people act and behave, you know, just across the pond. Our fans are completely different. And you're absolutely right in the sense that going to boxing's had a massive rise. I mean, you look at, say, okay, you look in the early 90s here, you had guys like Frank Bruno, you had Nigel Lewis, you had Nigel Benn, you had Med, you had Christian Bank. You know, there was that popularity. But then boxing in the public eye sort of waned a little bit because, I mean, after what happened with Joe McLennan, Nigel Benn, and then shortly after that, Nassim Hamed knocked a guy out in relatively similar fashion. Boxing was taken off of public TV, off of ITV.
See, that wouldn't have an effect here.
And then, well, there you go. And then we still have boxing on the BBC. But Audley Harrison put pay to that. He done fuck that up big time. And then you had a little bit. ITV started showing stuff again, but it was sort of devoid of the big stars. But in the last, and a lot of people, and this actually goes back to sort of, you know, money and things, because satellite TV is expensive, and you know, you look and there was an awful lot of people out there that just didn't have the money for satellite TV. And Eddie Hearn and Frank, or it was Barry Hearn, his father, and Frank Warren have moved their shit onto Sky. But now more and more people have got Sky, and because of the way that we've backed the Olympics and the media in the last sort of 5-6 years, UK boxing has gone under something of a renaissance, which is funny actually, because you know, the guys that we've got, rightly or wrongly, whether they're less talented or not, but we seem to have more of them. So you're absolutely right. I mean, but you go to like Sheffield, right, for a Kell Brook fight.
I mean, no offense to anybody though. You guys get a lot of C+ fighters versus a lot of C+ fighters, and you guys are fine with that. That shit won't fly.
Those are good fights, though. Those are really good fights too.
Yeah, but those kind of fights won't fly over here.
No, it won't fly. But then too, you hit it right on the head when you said Sky Sports. Like, you guys' biasness towards your fighters is actually what helps you guys fighters.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, you guys ride or die with your fighter, and the media is on you fighters' side. That doesn't happen over here in the U.S.
No. Yeah. If a fighter fights let's say you put on Crawler versus Burns over here, right? And let's say they're both Americans. That fight will get highly scrutinized. Like, why do they even need to be on TV? Or how could that just be a main event? It'll be like that kind of writing over here, as opposed to over there. It's a little excitement. I mean, I was excited. I was excited just because I like Crawler and Crawler's whole story and stuff like that. So I was excited for that fight. But over here, domestically, fights like that won't cut it. Like, fans are gonna they complain up. Bitch and moan about good fights now. So
I'm about to say they moan about good fights. You had I've had people complain about Thurman and Garcia, and it's like, you know, it's like Thurman fought the fight. See, we see, like, over in you guys a country, we have to literally teach our fans the goddamn sport. Like, he fought this
you gotta
fight
teach them over there too, bro. Don't get it twisted. They're not. They're not more knowledgeable fans. They're just more
not more
fans.
knowledgeable. No, I'm not saying they're more knowledgeable. What I'm saying, we have to teach them in the aspect of when they're critiquing what they're watching. It's sort of a situation of, are you critiquing because you don't like this guy, or are you critiquing because it's an honest critique? Because when I watch Thurman and Garcia, I'm telling guys, listen, Thurman fought the fight that they worked in training camp, and if it's working for him, what do you want him to do? You know, because the name of the game is winning. Because if he loses, you guys are really going to dump on his ass, which is what they did to Garcia when he lost, which is ironic about that.
You see, that doesn't happen over here. I mean, Kell Brook, I mean, he was applauded for going in. I mean, I think he was fucking stupid, if you ask me. But he was applauded for stepping in the ring with Gennady Golovkin. And, okay, the shit that happened with, you know, the Errol Spence fight, and did he quit or whatever? But okay, he's coming off for 2 losses, right? And he's got his fight on March 3rd. you still get. I mean, look at Amir Khan, right? So I'm using these two guys as an example. My take on it, from what you've just said, is if you've got guys that have come off of losses, or that are potentially, they are potentially faded, they're on the way down, that there's not going to generate interest. But here, okay, it's not going to have the same effect as it might have 12 or 18 months ago. But here, Amir Khan, Kell Brook is still a huge fight.
Yeah, I think we talked about this, and me and Wilson was even talking about. See, Amir Khan and Kell Brook is still a good fight, but I can honestly tell you, there's a lot of us over here who don't care to see Amir Khan at all. Now,
Yeah.
I would watch him fight Kell Brook only because that's a fight that I've been waiting to see. But I'll be honest with you, even if he announced I'm fighting Kell Brooks, I wouldn't mark it on my calendar. If I catch I catch it. Yeah. I'm about to say, if I watch it, I watch it. You know what I'm saying? And that's this. But over there, I still think it's a big fight, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's not hard. I think that people just got to understand that there's just such
neither side is wrong. People, you choose to do what you want to do.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that.
Neither side is wrong. You choose to do what you want to do, and then you keep it moving. But
just don't try to hurt the sport. That's my issue. Don't try to hurt the sport, and that's my main gripe with most of the American media.
That's not the American boxing fans. Those are the people that watch boxing casually.
Casual and the some American media who have an agenda.
Yeah, well, that's true. But a lot of the media has agendas because you watch a fight over there, and you could clearly tell who the announce booth wants to win that fight, who they're rooting for. So, so it's a double-edged sword. Because one thing is to be with your pom-poms, and one thing is to be with your pom-poms and really show it. So those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I can't debate you because there's no way in hell that you're going to debate me with an open mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, good stuff. But we're close to wrapping up now because you joined in late. But I want to get your take real quick. So with me and Wilson, we're talking the AJ Parker fight. We were talking the Wilder Ortiz fight. We're less certain on Ortiz Wilder. Both of us think that Wilder could really rock and upset the apple cart. But we're more of a foregone conclusion on the AJ Joseph Parker fight. So give me your take. Who wins both?
Oh man, most definitely Anthony Joshua wins the fight with Joseph Parker. My only question is, will it be an easy win for him or a hard win? And a lot of it, I think, depends on how Anthony Joshua comes in. If he comes in too heavy and Joseph Parker can get him in the later rounds, Joseph could start having some success. And as far as being able to go 12, if Anthony Joshua comes in light, where in my opinion, like when he fought the Dylan Whites and the Dominic Brazzelis, and even before the guy fought Dylan White when he was 235, 240, he's a little bit lighter. He's a little bit more mobile. His punches are a little bit more straight, and he gets less tired. Then we could, definitely see him probably blast this dude out in 5 rounds or so. But yeah, it's a foregone conclusion in my mind that Anthony Joshua is going to win that fight. The Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz fight, man, that's a debate as they get close to the fight we'll be talking about, because the thing about Deontay Wilder is Deontay has probably the best 1-2 in the heavyweight boxing. His 1-2 is very quick, very fast, and very accurate. When he is focused on using his skill set, because a lot of people like to say Deontay Wilder doesn't have any skills. And I tend to tell people you can't win a bronze medal and have no skills. That's just utterly fucking impossible to do. So he has some skills. The problem is Deontay Wilder believes so much solely in his ability to knock you out that that's all he's looking to do and nothing else. But when he does use his jab, like against Bermane Stiverne, when he does use his movement, it's a thing to watch. But the problem is, again, he's facing a guy in Luis Ortiz where he has the ability to offset some of Deontay Wilder's athleticism. And Luis Ortiz has a 1-inch reach advantage, right? And Luis Ortiz, like we say, he comes from that Cuban school of boxing. So in my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight, because there's some questions about Luis Ortiz that we have not seen answered. Can he take a punch? How will he respond when he's finally hit with the big punch? What happens when it's not going his way? The one thing about Wilder is, I'll give it to him on this one, he is mentally tough from this aspect. We've seen him in fights where it's not going his way, and he does not fall. And that's because he has that right hand. He just has to land it. But still, from a mental standpoint, when he fought Spilka, when he fought Gerald Washington, it wasn't going his way, but he didn't fall and crumble. He just kept going, and then boom, opportunity struck for him. Will that happen for Luis Ortiz? I saw Luis Ortiz get frustrated against Malik Scott. I saw him get frustrated against David Allen. So if it's not going his way from a mental standpoint, how will he respond? What is his stamina like? Because his last fight was an early knockout, but he still ain't been in the ring in a long time. And what happens when he get hit with a big punch? So there's some serious questions about Luis Ortiz that we'll find out. Then there's some questions about Wilder. How will he do against such a technically sound fighter and a southpaw guy at that? How will he do? So to me, that's why that's a 50-50 fight.
It's definitely the pick of the fights out of the two. But yeah, we'll look forward to that, and we will cover that a bit closer to the time.
I got a question.
Yo,
does for both of you guys, does Wilder, if he beats Ortiz, get more credit than Joshua if he beats Parker, or is it about the same amount of credit? And the only reason I'm asking that because we all know out of all the champions, Parker is probably the weakest link.
That's funny. I said that earlier. Yeah, I would like to see if he doesn't get more credit, then it'll have to be even par. Yeah, it's definitely a good opponent. So if he does beat him, then you gotta start looking at it like, okay, even par. But the heavyweight division is like top 5 guys, and that's it.
Okay.
No, and I tend to agree with the fact that Parker is most definitely seen as the weak link, and also you've got to consider the drug cheating allegations that have all been banded around in and around Luis Ortiz. I mean, you could argue that this is okay when the first Bermain Steven that Wilder fought was a much bigger challenge than the second, so you could argue that this is the second. The second test of his short career, or should I say short career of his reign as champion. But he's had a lot of problems, as we all know, in terms of fights getting made and fights getting broken because of various reasons. And could you argue that actually Luis Ortiz is better, and this includes the Vladimir Klitschko, and me and Wilson were talking about this earlier. The better fighter on both the guys' resumes. I think Wilder should get a lot of credit for going in against Ortiz, given the allegations and all the problems that have been made. And if he wins that fight, he should get a hell of a lot of credit. He really should, because to me, Parker is me and Wilson were talking about this at the start of the show. In my opinion, Joseph Parker's lucky to be the WBA champion, because for me, Andy Ruiz beat him that night. So no, definitely, Wilder should get some credit.
Okay.
Good stuff. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. Just before we finish the show, I want to pass my condolences on from Eastwick Boxing UK and from Three Kings Boxing as well to my man Big Cool, Jarrell Jasper, who unfortunately lost his mother not so long ago. Our thoughts are with you, man. We love you. Where you can find it. Tell the people out there where you can find it.
Me?
Where they.
Yeah, I'm with the kid. You can find me on Eastwick Boxing Talk right here on YouTube. You can go over there and subscribe. 3kingsboxing.com. 3 Kings Boxing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me at Eastwick Boxing on Twitter, and there's a Facebook page. If you want to be part of a little group, you can find me on there as well. Eastwick Boxing on Facebook, and also Block Talk Radio, Four Corners Boxing.
Good stuff. Bo, how about you, my man?
Hey, man, you can find me right here, Truth and Facts About Boxing. You follow me on Twitter at capital T for Truth _ capital F for Fact Box 1. Same thing with Instagram. Truth_Fact Box 1. You can catch me also up in Eastwick. Catch me on some of the other programs. I'll be back on this one also, but you can catch me on a lot of the other programs we have. You catch me on the Eastwick Boxing. You catch me Four Corners, Three Kings, Prodigy Boxing, Colossal Boxing. You know, the Eastwick chat room. You can also
everywhere, every fucking where.
You can also visit me on Facebook at Truth and Facts About Boxing on the Facebook page, along with Three Kings Boxing. Man, we break the news before everybody else. And you know, by the time y'all get it, y'all late. So y'all need to get up with what's happening right now.
Yeah,
man.
we broke this shit a month ago.
That's right, baby.
We even gave you out the date.
the movement, and also, you know, anytime you want to get some good knowledge from, you know, the old guy who's schooling the young cats and schooling all his kids, you can catch me schooling my man Wilson and that light skinned egg drinker and this along with that old Southern geezer. And along with this crumpets and tea drinking UK commentator also as well. I school them all, baby. I school them all.
Good stuff. I started at the start of the call by thanking you guys. A couple of years ago, that was nearly 3 years ago, some random Puerto Rican dude living in New York comes up to me and says, "Hey man, I'm going to start." He messaged me and says, "Hey man, I'm starting a boxing group." Me and this guy have had so many fucking highs and even more fucking lows, but without him, I would not have the platform to have done this show. I would not have the platform to bring you stuff from Cooper's Corner at Three Kings Boxing. I just wouldn't be able to do it. So, Willie the Kid, you're an asshole, but I love you, man. Thank you very much.
Well, you know what I say to that, right? When somebody gives me a compliment.
What's that? Fuck you?
Fuck you.
Yeah. Bo also as well. Bo gave me my first exposure on Truth and Facts About Boxing. So between the two of these guys, it was only right that they made my first show.
Shit, Bo wouldn't give you the exposure with the kid and tell him to do it. So either way, you still gotta thank me, motherfucker. Don't try to take away my credit. Fuck that.
Hey man. I was gonna give you the exposure whether Willie told me to or not. Let him go.
Lying ass motherfucker, man.
Hey. See, this is what happens when daddy gives his kid compliments. See, I give him a compliment. Look what I see you. You know, you give him a motherfucker rope and he want to be a cowboy and shit.
First of all, motherfucker, our knowledge is even par, so you can never be my boxing daddy, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Okay, that sounds like a challenge.
Now in age, yeah. You're not even my dad, nigga. You could be my grandfather. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, no one knows how old the fuck he is. He says he's 49. Bullshit. He's
that motherfucker's 55,000. He was on Earth. He was on Earth when the meteor hit and the dinosaurs died.
Well, it was that time. It was that time me and Cleopatra went on a date on the back of that camel. Goddamn it! It's fine as hell.
Bo was a bit late to the show, ladies and gentlemen, but if any of you guys have listened to, you know, Eastwick Boxing's YouTube channel or Prodigy of Boxing Talk with Truth and Facts About Boxing, this is generally the kind of tone. Me and Willie the Kid kept it clean, but this is just generally the kind of abuse that you expect and that you'll get probably on the shows going forward. Guys, once again, this is my first show. Thank you very much. My name's Aaron Cooper. You can find me at Cooper's Corner at 3kingsboxing.com. Any questions, you can email me at aaron@3kingsboxing.com. This is the first ever UK Eastwick Boxing UK. There's going to be a lot more, as the guys have already alluded to. We're coming. We break the news first. We're unbiased. We're everywhere. Big shout out to everyone at the movement. Good night, guys.